long time ago, I heard that one of the bars in Yonis started country western dancing. I remember I walked in and I was watching these guys in the back, line dancing I had no idea what they were doing. So I would go there and stand and watch people.
If you can walk, you can dance. And the issue really is most people don't want to dance because they're inhibited. They feel like they're going to look awkward or whatever else. A way to help people feel part of the family of dancing is to just go up and get them to do it and to show them how easy it is to do.
I would go home, and before I go to bed, I would go quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow. And now I'm on the dance floor all the time. I love to dance. Cowpokes is not a bar. It's not a gay bar. It's like a social club. Just when you go there, I feel so comfortable. It's like I'm at home.
I mean, the guys, they just take care of the ladies. They just, like I'm their mother or something. They have such respect for, and they're so gentlemanly. And it's just a bunch of good guys who like to dance.
This Saturday, we're going to be doing a cleanup, or a Cowpokes cleanup on St. Cloud. So, of course, we're looking for volunteers. Also, we have another thing. You want to do it here?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Just another second.
Don't leave. Yeah, we know there's a lot of stuff that still needs to be done since Hurricane Katrina, and so a group of us are going to go to a professor from UNO's house. He bought the house about 6 months before the storm, the first time he's ever owned a home, and of course had water up over the roof. So, and we're going to go help empty his house. We're going to carry out all the furniture and all that and put it on the curb. So we appreciate anybody's help. Thank you.
What people don't talk about with this storm is how quickly it came up. I mean, it wasn't even supposed to be a hurricane on Wednesday, and by Sunday it was already here and it's starting to cause damage. Sometimes I don't think even I realized the amount of devastation. Here it is 9 months later, and there are still people that haven't come back, still properties that have not been emptied or cleaned. The city still only has about a third of the people back in the city.
This is what's left of the house where we were born and raised and spent most of our childhood and adolescence. This storm came along and there was about 12 feet of water in the street and about 8 feet in the house. So, This is Hussein's house. We used to do lots of celebrations here. We would sit around the table here or in the living room or in the den area over there.
My house was exactly, imagine it was a pot filled with furniture, and in that pot you put water and you stirred the pot. So everything was upside down. If I touch my furniture, it just breaks. So I had to throw everything away.
We've all fallen in love with the city, whether we were born here or were, relocated here at some point. And I think the issue is that this is a massive undertaking. This is, 500,000 people used to live here, and
80% of those have been displaced. The only way the city's going to come back is if we all pitch in together and work to rebuild the city. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's just put this in the shade somewhere. Hello, sir. How are you? Good seeing you. Thanks for coming. We have gloves and masks in the trunk. Welcome, Hussein. I know this isn't easy because you had already go through this. You sure you're going to be okay with it?
Of course. I've been through this. So
I know.
Yeah.
We contacted a professor of one of the guys that has a regular at Cowpokes, and he hasn't even emptied his house 9 months later. So we said, if you'd like, we've offered that assistance.
Hello, Brian.
At first, it was like, well, why do y'all want to do that? And we said, well, because we want to help out. We're waiting on a few more people, but I think we could maybe start. But what we want to do is, if you see something that's totally destroyed, we're going to walk it past Manuel. And if you see something that looks salvageable, to let him look at it. I think we'll start here. Just tip it forward. Here we go. Keep going. All right.
This reminds me of my house. Two words.
Told me a group of friends of mine are ready to clean your house for nothing. And Kyle just told it to me yesterday, and now they are cleaning. You see, so quickly. I'm real glad.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's very nice. I got some brass candlesticks in here too. We've already cleaned out the living room, and this is it. Not a whole lot to salvage, but there's still a few little treasures to be able to bring home.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye, Gary. All right. Yeah,
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Bye. The 80s and the 90s were all AIDS-driven. We did all kinds of community efforts and drives, and I think it really got the gay community into a sense of participation in the altruistic kinds of things that you can do in the world. Now they come in and get the house. I think Katrina, in some ways, helped us all to understand that we're all in this boat together, whether it's the gay community, the straight community. It's just a matter of what can we do to help. And I think this is just really the start of a service group that's stemming from the dance family. When you're in a social setting and you get to meet people, it eventually becomes like your extended family. And I think because of Katrina, we've come to, I think, appreciate that family connection even more. I mean, I look at it as the one stress release venue that we could go to on the days you were spending gutting your house or trying to salvage items from your property. That it was one venue where you could come and feel back to as normal of a routine as you could. Coming out in the city that you're born and raised in is a lot different than coming out in a city that you've moved to. New Orleans is a Catholic city, and New Orleans is a small city. And for me personally, it was a struggle to come out. I didn't really come out until I was almost 30. Once I did come out, that's when AIDS became first known and very frightening. And I met someone, we became partners. And unfortunately, he was infected. And after 13 years of a relationship, he passed away.
And this is us at the AIDS quilt, right after we made the panel for Eddie. And I think that's the last time it was displayed. And then that's the quilt picture.
From the coming out standpoint, it was a very enlightening experience because my family all pulled around and supported me through that difficult time. And even some relatives that I would have never thought would have been as liberal thinking in the sense of it. But they all felt like if this was part of my family and I'm part of their family. And so therefore, the experience was to be shared. At his funeral, the church couldn't have held any more people. Probably 800 or 900 people that showed up for the funeral. So that was very, very moving and gave me the feeling that there was much more acceptance in my family and in the community as a whole.
This might have been one of the first Thanksgivings that you came to Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, to your mom's house.
Look how young the kids are.
I met Chris at a Pride weekend and said to him, we do country dancing on Tuesday nights. If you'd like, you could come and I could teach you how to dance. And he really enjoyed it. He became part of the family immediately. And that's where we really built our relationship, from the country dancing setting.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Ça va?
Ça va très bien.
Ah, bien.
New Orleans is very accepting. When I came here from Tunisia, the city adopted me. So when Katrina hit, I said, I'm going to stay here. And I started looking for a house. A lot of my friends, they say, you're crazy. I mean, you're buying a house on St. Claude. But when I looked at St. Claude in this area, I didn't look at the city now. I looked at the future. Please, please. I hope they stop. A lot of things that we still have problems with in New Orleans. I mean, trash is everywhere. Where I live in this area, that's where Cowpokes is. And I thought, if everybody in this community get together and just get rid of this trash, we did something.
Look at all these nails. No wonder I got five plugs in my tires already.
Yeah. It's not just the litter, it's also like the weeds have started growing out of the sidewalk because nobody's walking the sidewalks. It looks like the Day After movie, except this is months after when the weeds start taking over the city, an empty city. So we're trying to make it look not so empty, get people comfortable coming back.
For me, it would have been a lot more difficult to leave because of the blood, sweat, and tears I did put into this neighborhood and into this community. It's hard to be able to move away from that.
The city needs us. It's exactly like you have a friend or a mother or a father or a loved one who got so sick and you abandon him. They would be hurt. And so New Orleans would be hurt if we leave her. So we have to stay here and rebuild the city.